National Executive Committee of the incumbent National Democratic Congress (NDC) has extended the closing date for the filing of nomination for parliamentary aspirants in the Ashanti region. This, the party says, is to give ample time and equal chance to members of the NDC in the region to complete the process. Meanwhile, nominations in all other regions closes today, September 10. I've been joined in the studio by my colleague from the political desk, Malik Dabu. Malik, it's been an interesting race, and let's talk about the implications with the extension for Ashanti region.
Francisca, I'm sure we all know that Ashanti region is one of the largest regions in the country. They have the largest number of parliamentary seats. That means that a lot of work has to go in for people to be able to file their nominations. And you know that once nominations close and you are unable to file, also because Ashanti region tends to be one of the hotbeds for political activities.
But it's the stronghold of the NPP rather, so why bother?
Well, you know, the NDC has a target of 1 million votes from Ashanti. Some of the constituencies, even though they are located in Ashanti, given the peculiarities of the nature of the people that live in those constituencies, you have the NDC winning those ones. Like Asawasi, for example, Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak's constituency, he's the majority chief whip, and that's his constituency. In the last primaries, he narrowly escaped. This time around, there's a lawyer who is challenging him. We had the Nur Hamidan. Nur Hamidan is the DC for the area, the district in which the constituency falls, who went around telling people that he was the best candidate for the party and that they shouldn't endorse the forms for other contending candidates. That generated a lot of debates. One of the guys called me, he's a lawyer, and he said that he lost narrowly to Muntaka. He thought that this was his chance, and he felt that the party leaders are using Machiavellian tactics to try and disqualify him, because they are not even allowing party wards to endorse his forms to enable him file. So if people like that petition, the party may want to give a lot more time, and that may explain why today's extension came about. Now,
many names have come up, as you mentioned, some of them interesting names. We've had Ashimor, we've had daughter of former President Rawlings, Ezenato. Let's just do let's just try and measure their the impact they're going to make. For instance, Ezenato is not believed to be known at the grassroots level. Nanoye Latha's name has come up. She's a minister for women and children. Is she known in the region at the grassroots level? Hannah Bisu.
For the Minister for Gender, for example, Nanoye Latha, we have to find out whether she has pegged, because when she granted Jifa, a senior colleague, an interview, I think 2 days ago, she wasn't quite straightforward whether she was picking the forms or not. She said she was spoiled for choice. She could go for Greater Accra, she could go for Central Region.
Indeed, is she?
Well, that's what she said. She didn't tell whether she was going to pick the forms or not. But given how politicians can be very crafty and cunning when they respond to questions, it's difficult to put a finger on what exactly she was proposing to do. I'm sure after this interview, we'll be checking out whether she picked the forms or not. I think same goes for Ezenato as well. But we know some people who have picked. We know my friend Sam George. I think his declaration generated a lot more discussions, especially given the rancorous debates between him and his main opponent.
He's going around talking about throwing out old water, and E.T Mensah is not happy about that.
Of course he is not, and he's also delivering his own blows and jabs. He's said very unpalatable things about Sam George. He thinks that Sam George is simply a glorified houseboy, because remember, I think it was on this same platform when Sam George said that if water stays in a bottle for too long, it begins to smell.
You gotta throw it out.
Yeah,
and indeed, we have E.T Mensah. We have a video of E.T Mensah making those assertions about Sam George.
Absolutely. And I said that E.T Mensah was going to respond to him, and I think he has done exactly that, because E.T Mensah, as we all know, is a colossus in the NDC.
Great. Let's listen to E.T Mensah now.
All knows how to run, he doesn't know how to hide. And nobody should deceive himself. He cannot win Ningo Prampram without my support. This boy has been putting on the Facebook and other places. I've got information that I'm not running. Even after I have tried, it's out there that I'm not running. He said, let it swim in his naivety. and ignorance. Politics on the ground is not done in the media.
The last time I spoke with him, he said the people of Ningo Prampram say he should thank you for a good job done, but now they want him. And even he said the chief of Ningo Prampram. Have you in any way heard, these kind of discussions around?
It's not true. When I heard those things, and I said God should have mercy on this boy. God should have mercy on this boy. A hand that has fed you before, you want to bite it, you have to be careful. A hand that has raised you to where you are, and you think that you can mess around. And I am not sad for it, but the parents who knew. I didn't know them for Adam. His sister, when he was going to be engaged by the husband in Nigeria. Yes, let me say it. Here, we did it here. You can come out to tell you. We did it here. We did everything. Everything that I treated him like a son. And it is not, it doesn't lie in his mouth. Who is he in Ningo Prampram for them to send him to come? For them to send him to come and say thank you to me. What has he ever done there? Before I went to Ningo Prampram, before I became a member of parliament, I was serving the place. 1993, I didn't go to parliament. I went to parliament in 1996. In 93, the work that I did to 95. That was why all the elders from Ningo Prampram, they sent people to come and ask me to stand. You know what? I don't want to glorify his naivety. He's someone who is naive, someone who is power drunk. I don't know what he thinks, what he wants to do. I don't want to glorify it. That is why I'm being, charitable. I don't want to glorify, but I'm saying that whatever he says is a lie. I've never come across somebody who is not truthful like him.
So why do you think the people of Ningo Prampram should retain you?
That is work in progress. The Accra City project, I'm on top of it because of my experience in Accra. Accra City Extension, we call it. I'm on top of it, and it has to be completed. And that is the main, when we're able to do that, open up, set up the structures. When you hit the place now, it's no longer in practice, it's not a district, it's a municipality. The kind of properties and things that we have there. Okay. And this is not for second division players.
So we're trying to reach Sam George, who is a contender for that seat, to respond to these, but we're unable to reach him. But interesting, Malik, at Ningo Prampram, it's old age versus naivety. That's prevailing.
Well, and when we had the discussion here, I said that E.T Mensah was going to respond to him because we know that E.T Mensah doesn't take prisoners.
He had been quiet for long.
He had been.
Gathering his thoughts.
Well,
and he says he was charitable.
He said he was charitable, and you and I know that there are even things that we will not play.
Unpalatable things he said that we cannot play.
Absolutely, because we all said that, well, Sam George may have, and I said that I had information that E.T Mensah was indeed grooming Sam George to become the MP for the area on the NDC's ticket.
So did he get annoyed by the statements Sam George, had been going around? And so he said, okay, I'm going to stand because this boy is going around saying things about me.
I think he thought that Sam George was demonstrating a certain indecent haste, and that, as he said, may have angered him. That's why he took the decision to continue with what he's doing. Because Sam George was pointing out to the electoral figures over the previous elections and pointed out that if you look at between 2008 and 2012, E.T Mensah's vote had fallen. In fact, he had won the election by 71% in 2008. By 2012, that had fallen down to 51%. That was such a massive drop.
So Sam George stands a chance.
So, and the MPP's vote appreciated from 6,000 to 17,000. What he didn't avert his mind to is that the characteristics of the constituency have changed. Remember that there's now Central University in that constituency. The constituency, as E.T Mensah said in the clip we just watched, the constituency is becoming a metropolitan area rather than just a small district of rural people. That in itself influences the voting pattern. And
so you have a lot of more middle class, more refined people.
Absolutely, university graduates.
Who follow issues.
And university students who will not just vote. So if you compare just the raw figures of the two elections and say that E.T Mensah's share of votes is falling and therefore he's losing popularity and it is time for him to go, you may be engaging in sophistry and miscalculating the figures.
But realistically, does that put Sam George in a good position?
I don't think it does. It doesn't necessarily do so because people will look at the experience that you bring. He says that he's a young, vibrant person. That's not in doubt. Is that what the people want? The new settlers who come there, these university students we are talking about, the middle class people.
They may want somebody within their age bracket. Let's talk about another youngster. That's the daughter of former President Rawlings, Ezenato, Dr. Ezenato Rawlings. She's perceived not to be in touch with the grassroots. We have a clip of her, but quickly, let's hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I always said that for people who have such big names, it does a lot of good for them politically.
Daddy's name is going to help?
Absolutely. Daddy's name would help to a large extent because there are a lot of people in this country who hold her dad in high regard and who respect his opinion. And we know that he's a crowd puller. If he comes out and backs her, that does 60% of the job for her.
The interesting thing is that Mommy is with NDP, a breakaway party.
But to be fair, her mommy has lost her relevance in our politics, at least in NDC politics. I am not too sure that her mom is as relevant as she was.
But NDP has got its following.
Well, let's see how they would do if they indeed get the chance to contest the next elections.
Okay, Kwachi Afreniama has been speaking to Dr. Ezenato Rawlings. Let's listen to that.
When your popularity is not one that's of ego, but based on your connection with the community, then you know the way you stand.
Your connection with the community, you feel you are in touch with the grassroots?
I think the crowd speaks for itself.
And of course, you'll be going up against the incumbent, one other candidate. It will be a very stiff competition.
Well, I have no doubt about that, but I think at the end of the day, the most important thing for me is that we work together and empower the community to rebuild their lives.
There was a time where you denied at all that you were going to participate in this contest. What changed?
Well, at the time, my denial was actually exactly what it was. I had no political ambitions. And as the cleaning campaigns and the environmental activism gained ground, the support on the ground was increased and a lot more people started calling for, political involvement. And so that's how we find ourselves here. At the end of the day, it's really a question of conviction. And I believe that this is one way to achieve the objectives.
How long have you had about this ambition?
But my decision was very recent. Up until now, all I wanted to do was contribute to the community.
Of course, this is a significant decision, knowing that your mother is in the NDP, you are in the NDC. Do you think that this could perhaps bridge the gap between bringing your mom back to the party?
So I would like to focus on the issues now going forward, which have to do with the development of the community.
So that's Dr. Ezenato Rawlings. But one thing I will say, she is smart.
Very smart. She's demonstrated that in her interview.
Yeah.
She cleverly avoided some of the landmines that Afre was cleverly
putting her way. Okay, but Malik, quickly, let's look at, for these 9 regions, nomination closes today. What next?
I think I understand the party is looking at 27th for the vetting. Across the country, the party set up vetting committees to vet the various aspirants. So it's after the vetting, the party will look at the person's track record, has a person the character to pick the nomination to contest and become MP on the party's ticket, has a person good moral standing, has a person contributed to the party at the grassroots level, what roles did they play legally, are they qualified? All of these things will be considered by the vetting committee before they will release their results. And then we will know those who are qualified to contest. Merely submitting a nomination form does not make one a candidate. It's until the party vets you and clears you. That's when we'll see. And that is when we are likely to see legal challenges as we witness in the MPP.
Okay.
That if some people are disqualified and they are unhappy with their disqualification and believe that their disqualification was not based on justified reasons,
they would want to take it out. Okay, so the battle has begun. Thank you very much, Malik Dabo, for joining us over here and tickling our fancy about this. But you're watching Joy.